Hola and welcome to Beyond Tapas. In this video I'm going to show you how to prepare an absolutely delicious gazpacho soup. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Gazpacho is a very traditional and very typical soup, especially in the south of Spain, that its origins go back millennia, as insofar that the mix of water, bread, olive oil and some more ingredients can be dated back, according to some historians, to the Romans. That's a very long time ago, I have to say. However, it was in the 19th century when tomatoes became really popular and became the main ingredient for this absolutely delicious and amazingly gorgeous and easy to prepare soup that hopefully, I think you're going to enjoy. To prepare gazpacho, the only utensil that you're going to need is going to be a blender. Maybe a smoothie blender, an immersion blender, a food processor. It doesn't really matter as long as it can really blend everything into oblivion. In my case, I am going to use my trusty Thermomix, but absolutely any other blender will do. So don't be put off by my shiny apparatus, because anything can indeed be used. Right, how though? Well, we're going to start by adding a kilo of red ripe tomatoes to our blender. Just take off the wooden bit at the top and everything else just goes in straight away, no messing about. Some people peel the tomatoes. Personally, I don't bother, because by the time everything is blended, you just won't feel that the peel is there, and to be honest, it doesn't bother me anyway. So it's some work that you save. You don't have to bother with it. It's easier. A clove of garlic is going to give the gazpacho a very nice little kick, which is a wonderful thing. You can add two if you like garlic a lot, but be careful because we're going to eat this raw. There's absolutely no cooking, no heat involved whatsoever. And let's face it, garlic can be rather potent. To this mix now add half a green pepper. Yes, you can use red pepper too, but because the tomato is sweet enough as it is and the red pepper would add to that sweetness, maybe that bitterness of that green pepper goes a lot better. Seed it though and keep a little bit for later. I'll tell you why in a minute. Half an onion, or a full onion if it's not too big. We want just a small amount, so don't go overboard with it. If you prefer, you can also use red onion if the taste of the Spanish onion is too much, or if you're intolerant or it doesn't sit well in your stomach, just use it. I'm going to give you, by the way, some pointers as to what alternative ingredients you can use at the end of the recipe. Also, in the video description there is a full recipe with all the ingredients, all the measurements and all the everything. And if you're used to a different measurement system, because I use metric, which is what we use in Spain, don't worry, I have you covered. There is also a link to a really fantastic measurements converter. And while you're at it, if you're enjoying this video, you like the gazpacho, please do subscribe and leave me a comment. And I would love to see your creation. Join me in our Facebook page and show me your photographs, because seriously, I love to see what you're preparing and you're cooking. And by all means, do let me know if you have any questions or if you would like me to cook any particular recipe that you are interested in, because I would just love to do that for you. After the green pepper and the onion, we're going to add a medium-sized cucumber. We are going to peel it, and also we're going to have it lengthways, and with a teaspoon we're going to take out the middle bit, which is very watery and is very seedy. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. We don't really want that. We just want the firm fleshy bits. Again, some people don't bother peeling the cucumber, but I also know that the peel can be slightly hard to digest, so it's entirely up to you. That's however you want to do it and however long you have to prepare this. So don't worry too much about it, just follow your gut. This is your recipe. Add a little bit of vinegar, about 30 ml, that's about espresso. You can add more to it if you like. I do love the acidity of the vinegar, but some people don't like it, so add a little bit less, or use a softer vinegar like rice vinegar instead of wine vinegar, for instance. That would work as well very, very nicely. To this mix now, add 100 ml of olive oil. Yes, we use olive oil in Spain because, big tradition, and we absolutely love it. Personally, I love the peppery taste of extra virgin olive oil, but if it is too strong for you, by all means, use sunflower oil. Don't use coconut oil, please, because it's just too much, it's too rich. And don't use peanut oil, that sort of oil. No, don't. Olive oil or sunflower oil, 100 ml. And lastly, a glass of water, about 250 ml of water. Then you can get it cold to speed up the cooling process so you can have the soup as soon as possible. A teaspoon of salt, but you will be able to change and correct the measurement later on, so don't worry too much if you add a little bit less and then spark it up with a pinch later on. To prepare the gazpacho, the only thing you're going to have to do is to blend it at full power for about 3 to 5 minutes. It really is going to depend on the power of your blender and what kind of blender you're using. The immersion blender might take a little bit longer than 3 minutes, but you just want a very, very smooth consistency. Chill a lot before you serve it. And one thing, if you leave it in the fridge, it is likely that when you go back to it, you will see that the whole of the ingredients have separated and gone up to the surface while the water remains down. That's pretty normal, don't worry about it, that just happens. Shake it vigorously, or stir it in your pot if that's where you're serving it, and serve very cold. That's something that happens and it's not a big issue. Serve it sprinkled with a little bit of that green pepper that we set aside and some minced onion, which is the way that used to be, is typically served. The original and the traditional recipe also contains some bread. I tend to leave it out for 2 reasons. Firstly, because it's a bit healthier, it doesn't add much to the recipe as far as I'm concerned, but also because I have some friends with gluten intolerance, and this way I make sure that they can have it without any ill effects. If you want to add the bread later on though, what I recommend that you do is to add some bread croutons, because that will also add a very nice crunch and lovely flavor to the whole soup. Alternative ingredients that are found all over the place are melon or stock instead of water, or apple. Some people use it with carrot instead of bread, which is a very good alternative as well. And some people even cook it and then boil it, which I wouldn't recommend. It's not for me at all. And to be honest, what's the point? You want something nice and cold for this summertime. And that is it. It is as simple as that. I would genuinely love to see what you prepare, so please, please, please join me in Facebook and show me your creations, because that would be amazing. But until next week, when I'm going to bring something a little bit heartier, buen provecho.